Wow, flying a kite is a lot harder than it looks. That's okay, I don't really have time to be messing around trying to fly a kite anyway. I gotta get ready because my friend Gina is coming to visit. So I better put this away and get ready. That's right, Wonderhussy here, back in Death Valley. After a long, hot summer of traveling around, trying to avoid the heat, I'm finally back down here in the desert again. And may I say, it's actually really nice to be home. Okay, last summer I was kind of bummed out when I had to come home after my summer adventures were over. But this year I actually found myself looking forward to coming home because I had so much fun, interesting stuff to look forward to this fall, including a visit from my girlfriend Gina. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you might remember Gina. She's a friend I've had since I was 13. She lives in Little Rock, Arkansas. She's got a real purty accent, and she loves Death Valley. But she's never been out here to visit me at my compound until now. I guess her and another girlfriend that I've never met before are on their way out here, and well, now I gotta take them out and show them a good time, which shouldn't be hard to do at all in a place like this where there's always something interesting going on. Yay! Hey! Hi! Oh my God! Give me a hug! Hey! Everybody remember Gina from?
Hello.
You might remember her from such films as Reno 911 and Abandoned Convention Center.
And the barbecue place that
Oh right, we went to Mr. Jones Barbecue.
Mr. Jones.
How are you, Gina?
Good. How are you,
And
sir?
who's with you here?
This is Shannon.
Hi, Shannon. Thank you for coming out here. Welcome, welcome to the Death Valley compound.
Love it.
Oh, thank you.
It's awesome. It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Yay.
All right, look, I'm gonna take these girls out and show them a thing or two around Tacoma. Hey, Gina, do you want to go meet Ross, the one-legged miner?
I'd love to meet the one-legged miner.
Okay, can I sit in the back of this Mustang? You'll drive us? You guys are like Thelma and Louise.
I'm not trashy assy. Okay, we gotta do.
Don't drive off a cliff. What is this karaoke thing you have here,
Come on,
Shannon?
cherry bomb. Come on.
What is it? Car radio karaoke? All right, let's get a beer. Hey, Ross!
Hey, Sarah!
How are you, Ross?
I am great. How are you?
I'm great, Ross. It's good to be back.
Yeah, stand tall. You make me look like I'm 7 feet tall here.
You are 7 feet tall in my eyes, Ross.
Aw.
And Ross, do you have something for me?
I do.
Ross brought me a gift.
I brought you a half-drank beer.
No, I don't like beer. Try
Okay, somebody else
again.
today. Okay. This.
What is it?
Well, if we look in here,
What could it be? Oh my gosh.
it's
A coupon for liquor? Oh my gosh! What is it, Ross?
that is the tail of a rattlesnake, an ex-rattlesnake.
Wow, and how did you come by a rattlesnake rattle?
Well, it was attached to the rattlesnake that was under my trailer, and after I shot the rattlesnake, it didn't really need that too much, so I figured I'd bring it to you.
Oh wow, cool, thank you. Is it super fragile? Can I actually pick it
Yeah, you
up?
pick it up, shake it, have fun with it.
Oh my god. Well, I don't want to break it though.
Yeah, don't break it.
Oh my god, it's so creepy.
That rattlesnake survived, what, 9
Oh my god, look at
years?
this. Rattlesnake rattle. Oh, is that how that works? Each.
I think once a year.
Wait, so each one of these little lumps is 1 year?
No, every time the thing sheds, and I think they shed a couple times a year, a few times. So I thought it was like a 3 or 4 year old rattlesnake. But
3
you
or
can shake
4?
It.
Oh my god. Ross.
Yes.
Thank you. I mean, seriously, that is one of the coolest things I've ever gotten. Thank
Ah.
you. Aw. Ross, I guess you're all right after all.
On that, now I'll go out and shoot another rattlesnake just for you.
Mm.
Actually, no, don't say it. I I get slaughtered by the snake lovers just for shooting
Exactly,
that one.
yeah, and just to be
And
clear,
that one was under my trailer.
yeah, the only reason Ross shot the snake, and you would have let it go, but it was living right under your deck, and you have 2 dogs.
Yeah, I mean, actually, one of the dogs found it. That's why I heard the rattle kick into gear. I grabbed the rifle because I knew what that sound was. Came around the corner. The dog is backing away from it.
Yeah.
And
Which dog was it?
That was Cleo.
Oh, okay.
I would have tried to relocate the snake, but it was actually under my trailer, wrapped around the axle, kind of hanging down upside down.
Oh,
So it's like I can't get it.
So what'd you have to do? Like get on your belly, like World War II style?
Yeah,
Did you use the M1 Garand?
No, I don't use the 30-06 for shooting snakes under my trailer.
Oh, what did
Just
you
a
use?
22 rifle.
Oh, just a 22?
Oh my gosh,
okay.
you'd have blown that sucker
And
smooth.
you got it with just 1 shot?
I got it.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember said you could just pick the snake up with a stick or something. Well, they're always tangled around stuff that are under the trailers.
Yeah.
And-
Look, it's real easy
yeah.
for people who live in the city to tell you what you should
Yeah.
do when you find a snake.
Yeah.
But when you're in the moment, it's not
Yeah,
always that
they're not
easy.
running into a rattlesnake at 6 in the morning when they're wearing slippers. Or
Exactly.
sandal,
Ross, don't worry. No one here is ever going to judge you or think you're an animal killer, right? Gina, here's Ross. Reach
Hi,
Ross.
Gina.
Gina, don't be so shy.
you
Gina
barking?
feels like she doesn't look good.
No, I have like 3 drinks of me.
I got a costume. Anyway, that's Ross, my friend Ross.
Ross,
Hi. Pleased to meet you, Gina.
Gina's half Colombian, so she knows how to shake a shaker.
Wow, that's wild. What's
Yeah.
in there? Like little pellets?
Yeah, shotgun pellets. Okay, well, we're having a great time hanging out here at the Death Valley Brewing Company, having some drinks, but we can't stay all evening because we gotta go. My friends Carlo and Jack over at Villa Anita, they want to meet Gina and Shannon. So before I leave, though, Ross has something he wants to talk about. Now, Ross, as you know, Ross lives at a giant old mine complex that he's trying to restore.
Hey, secure the chatter over there. We're making a video.
Oh, it's fine. And so he needs a lot of help. Volunteers help you clean up, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, and so Ross is hosting a volunteer cleanup weekend, right?
Yeah. October 6th through the 9th, Columbus Day weekend. You know, that guy who discovered Ohio.
You mean Indigenous Peoples Day, Ross?
No, I mean Columbus Day, doggone it. I'm old and I'm not changing.
All right, Ross. So if folks are interested in coming to help, what do they do?
Yeah, drop me a email at tecopamines@gmail.com, TECOPAMINES, all one word, @gmail.com, or contact me through Facebook at Tecopamines at Facebook or Instagram.
Ross, we get the idea. Okay, so but what's expected of people if they show up?
Just be prepared to come out.
And they can
camp, spend a day,
camp right there on
yeah.
your property.
Uh,
Dry camping, no
dry
facilities.
camping, no facilities at all.
There's no pooper.
Exactly.
So
But yeah, whatever work you want to do, so long as you do something, do some shoveling, fence posts, come in the mine, do some underground work.
all right.
We will match you to the job. Your skill level.
You
is out.
heard it here first. If you want to go work for free, go check out Ross's
Come out
place.
easy. One-legged miner. See, one leg.
Oh yeah, if you want to see Ross's fake leg in person,
It's not a fake. It's a real leg. It's just plastic.
go help him out. Okay, girls, you are gonna love Villa Anita. Wait till you see this place. Just keep going all the way to the end.
Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's wild. Oh man, they're filming a movie here, and it looks like there's all kinds of interesting people here. Bazoo the Clown. Assigned clown at birth. Wow, yeah, all I know is it's some kind of horror movie, and there's about 10 people here, I think. Should be really interesting. It's always fun bringing new people over to Villa Anita just to see their reactions to the art, to the dogs, and to the perpetual state of exuberant chaos that seems to prevail over there. And things were especially chaotic at the time of our visit, what with the cast and crew of a horror movie having taken over the grounds for the night. I felt bad for getting in their way, but Carlo kept insisting that I film it all, and who am I to disobey my host?
Hi.
Is this your movie?
Yes.
And what's the name of the movie?
It's called Good Vibes Only.
Good Vibes Only. And what's your name?
Heidi Moore.
Heidi Moore. Check. And how can people find out more about you?
They could look up Wretched Productions or HeidiMooreTrauma.com.
Wretched Productions.
Yeah. I started it when I was like 20 years old.
Oh.
When I was, you know, different.
Yeah, sure.
Grand Central Station, which is good.
Stuff going on over here.
Yeah, I know, right?
What's for dinner? A leg?
Oh
Oh my gosh! Wow, I love your prop. You're doing the lighting on this production?
I'm just helping with camera. I don't know
okay.
what my official role is.
Well, your official role is best glasses.
Best glasses. That is a great official role.
Despite the chaos, or maybe because of it, Jack and Carlo were consummate hosts to my girlfriends, showing them around the property and making them feel as comfortable as if they were back home in Possum Taint, Arkansas.
Wonderhussy, hey, where you gonna go now?
And before we left, we had to do a little costume change. This was Villa Anita, after all. Oh gosh, Carlo's giving us makeovers.
Okay, let's take the hat off, get the hair going. Oh, there's the bitch that I fell in love with. Hello.
Oh my god, I hardly recognize you.
Oh, how cute is this? Bye-bye.
Whew. What a night. You know, anytime your girlfriends from Arkansas are in town, it's gonna be a late one. We were up until all hours at Villa Anita, and then went over and soaked in the hot spring and did some stargazing. Unfortunately, I stayed up a little bit too late and had a few too many, and that kind of set me back today. But I still managed to get up and go to Pahrump and run some errands. And on the way back, I happened to notice something that made me realize the importance of shooting videos of these places while you can, before it's too late. Okay, a few months ago, I shot a video back in these hills here at what I thought might have been a campsite belonging to the Ballarat Bandit. That's right, the Ballarat Bandit, a notorious thief who operated all over the Death Valley region and into Nye County, Nevada, back in the early 2000s. Anyway, I shot a video back in these mountains here at a place I thought might have been one of his campsites. But look, now the land's for sale! It's a good thing I hiked out there and shot that video before some douchebag developer turns this into some kind of resort. Or, I don't know, resort, condos, I'm not really sure what a developer would do with this chunk of raw desert land on the edge of Inyo County, just across the state line from Nevada. You can see Pahrump in the distance there, but, well, if you're interested, if you ever wanted to own some hills that may or may not contain a campsite that may or may not have belonged to the Ballarat Bandit, give him a call. Anyway, I gotta get back to my car because my groceries are getting warm and I'm supposed to meet somebody for dinner in like 30 minutes. And there's a couple more spots along the way I want to stop and show you something else. You like that nice long stretch of straightaway? This is called the Chicago Valley, and I think there's a 7-mile stretch of road that's pretty much straight as an arrow. It's very challenging not to speed here. There's the famous Charles Brown Stripe, aka the Charlie Brown Stripe. It's a world famous geologic phenomenon that just happens to be on my way back from the grocery store. But neither the Charlie Brown Stripe nor the unofficial Chicago Valley Speedway are what I wanted to show you. Actually, what I wanted to show you kind of has to do with this Walmart truck that's inexplicably backing up right in the middle of downtown Shoshone. Okay, if you've ever been to the little town of Shoshone before, well, you know, it's not exactly what you would call a bustling metropolis. It's barely a blip in the road, but there's a Walmart big rig here. Now, why would that be? Well, it's because the highway, I'll get out and show you. The highway here that runs through Shoshone, it's California Highway 127. If you've ever driven on 127, it kind of starts down at Baker, you know, home of the world's tallest thermometer off I-15, and it goes all the way up to US 95 in Nevada. And talk about an unofficial speedway. There's some stretches of 127 that, well, someone I know has gone pretty fast on. But thanks to Hurricane Hillary, and then I guess there was another monsoon storm here when I was at Burning Man. You know how Burning Man got rained out? Well, I guess it was a big storm all over the West, and it rained down here so badly, or so heavily, that it totally washed out Highway 127. That's right, this is one of the main lifelines, arteries that sustain the town of Shoshone. I mean, yeah, like I said earlier, Shoshone's pretty quiet even at the best of times. But with this highway closed, effectively shutting off all traffic coming from LA trying to come explore Death Valley, well, Shoshone is completely dried up. It's not funny. Shoshone and some of the businesses where I live, they're all hurting because this dang road is washed out and Caltrans is taking their sweet time repairing it. Let's see, it washed out around Labor Day. It's almost a full month later. And this road causes a significant detour. Matter of fact, my girlfriends, Gina and Shannon, that just left this morning, they were going from here out to Los Angeles. They were going to go check out the Sunset Strip because they're rocker chicks. They wanted to go down to the Sunset Strip and have some pizza at the Rainbow and just hang out, look at the stars on the sidewalk, Hollywood Boulevard, all that stuff. Well, that's the way to LA. They had to go all the way back to Vegas and around, a significant detour, adding at least 2 hours of travel time and untold dollars worth of gas to their trip budget, all because this highway's closed down. Now, I haven't driven down there. Obviously, the road's closed. You're not supposed to drive on it. But one of my neighbors went down there and took photos of the damage to the road, and it's significant. That road is completely busted into pieces. And unfortunately, well, not only is it having a significant impact on Shoshone, but it's also, like I said, having an impact on our town. We were planning to have this fire department fundraiser. If you came to the one we did back in April, it was super fun. It was a beautiful day. Tons of people showed up. It was a great time. Well, we were going to do something similar in the fall, only it was going to be a flea market. Everybody in town was going to get all their old stuff that they don't want anymore, including my sister and me, and set up tables and have like a little bazaar over by the brewery in town. So this time you could get a beer, walk around, buy some used stuff, clothes, records, lamps, whatever. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it with this dang highway closed because a significant amount of traffic that we're expecting and hoping for at this flea market are what we call dooners. Okay, dooners are off-roaders, like the kind people who have side-by-sides, quads that go out to the sand dunes down here. There's a big sand dune field called the Dumont Dunes. I think it's one of the biggest, best-known sand dune fields in the area. If you've ever been down to like the Imperial Dunes, Glamis, it's like that. It's a big, vast sand dune field, and tens of thousands of people go out there on these holiday weekends, including Halloween, which was the weekend we were going to have this flea market. So that way we could take advantage of any dooners that were coming through from Vegas on their way to the dunes. Oh, look at this guy blazing right through the roadblock. Well, it's probably a local because that's the only way I can get from Pahrump to my house. And people who live where I do, we got to go get groceries and, go to the doctor and stuff. And so we're allowed to go through this roadblock. The road isn't messed up as far as it goes to my place. It's only when you start going down towards the sand dunes and towards I-15. So because the Dumont Dunes is a high dollar affair, it's like, I think it's $50 a car to get in there. And like I said, tens of thousands of people show up for these holiday weekends. Well, the state of California doesn't want to miss out on all that juicy dooner money, so I think they're repairing this highway from I-15 to the dunes, maybe in the next few weeks, maybe in time for our flea market. But it's not going to help us because the portion from the dunes here will still be washed out until New Year's. That's right, the end of the year. And it's really causing hassles for the truckers. Look at this guy. This guy, I think he was planning to go to I-15. Now he's got to go all the way to Pahrump and get on the highway to Vegas and go through all that god-awful mess and then come up I-15 that way. Like I said, adding at least 2 hours and probably, in his case, hundreds of dollars worth of diesel to his trip. I'm sure that's why he just pulled over there. He probably had to call the boss. What do they call the guy who runs the trucking office? The dispatcher. Hey man, 127's still closed. I can't get to I-15. Well, you're gonna have to go through Vegas. Over and out. God damn it. Man, it should be like Convoy. What if these truckers just had enough and they were like, you know what? We're gonna bust through this sign. We don't care. We just ain't gonna pay no toll. So we crashed the gate, doing 98. I said, let them truckers roll, 10-4. I'm gonna be late for dinner, and my groceries are gonna get bad. Actually, I brought a cooler, so I think my groceries will probably be okay. There's one more place I wanna go look at before I wrap this up. And that's right on the other side of Shoshone. I mean, you can see driving through Shoshone, there ain't nobody here. There ain't nobody over here at the world famous Crowbar, which I think might still be closed for renovation. Nobody at the museum. Nobody over here paying $8 a gallon for gas. It really is a ghost town. And like I said, it's not funny because my sister and I are friends with the woman who owns this town, and she said they are really hurting. And the main reason Shoshone is hurting, well, it's partly 127 being closed, but it's mostly what I'm about to show you. Okay, apologies. I know the sun is right behind this, but the road into Death Valley National Park is completely closed. So there's 3 ways you can get into Death Valley on the eastern side of the park. This is Jubilee Pass. This is kind of the least commonly used. But then there's also the main one that goes right into Furnace Creek. I always forget what that one's called. And then there's a Daylight Pass up by Beatty. Well, all 3 of those are totally washed out from this dang hurricane or the second storm that we got. And they're all completely closed. Death Valley National Park is completely shut down. How about that? A national park the size of the state of Connecticut was completely closed down by some rainstorms. I haven't even seen photos of the conditions of these roads. I know this one here, Jubilee Pass, it got washed out in a storm 6 or 7 years ago, and it was closed for like at least a few years. You know, again, this is the least commonly used route into Death Valley out of the 3 on the east side, so I guess it's not the end of the world, but it's still an inconvenience. The biggest inconvenience, though, is the one that comes out of Pahrump. Gosh, I can't remember the name of that pass, but it's the one that comes right into Death Valley at Furnace Creek in the middle of all the famous stuff, like right by Badwater Basin and right by the, you know, Furnace Creek Inn, the fancy hotel, and Zabriskie Point and all that. That's California Highway 190. That's the main way to get across Death Valley if you're just trying to travel across Death Valley. You're not trying to go to the park. Say I just wanted to go to, Lone Pine, which, by the way, I do need to go to Lone Pine next weekend. Well, that's the most direct route to get there, and it's freaking closed. Meaning that if I want to go to Lone Pine next weekend, I'm going to have to go all the way up and around the entire northern boundary of Death Valley, again, causing a significant detour and a significant additional gas expense. But, you know, boo-hoo for me and my pocketbook. Boo-hoo, it's going to cost me a few extra dollars to go to Lone Pine. Meanwhile, the whole town of Shoshone is completely drying up because that's what sustains Shoshone, especially this time of year. This is prime Death Valley tourist season. I mean, look how beautiful the weather is right now. Okay, I know you can't really see weather, but just look how gorgeous this desert is right now. Take my word for it. It's balmy. It's like 70 degrees. It's absolutely perfect weather. And just look how gorgeous this landscape is. You could be out there in Death Valley taking advantage of this awesome weather, exploring and checking things out. Except for the fact that the dang hurricane and the monsoon ruined it for everyone. So no one is able to come to Death Valley. And I'm sure there's international tourists, you know, Germans and French. The Germans love Death Valley, and so do the French, as far as I know, and so do the Chinese. For that matter, so does everybody. They all want to come out here in the fall, and I'm sure some of these folks had their trips booked, you know, months, if not a year or more in advance, and now they can't get into the park. So all those trips had to be canceled. All those plane tickets had to be canceled. You know, a lot of people probably were going to go to Vegas and then Death Valley. Well, maybe they're not even going to Vegas. Vegas is probably still okay. People are probably still going to Vegas. But Death Valley tourism is completely shut down, and it's really impacting these little communities where I live. So if anybody from Caltrans happens to be watching, anybody in the Inyo County Road Department, higher up that is, that has any clout, or I don't know, Gavin Newsom. If Gavin Newsom happens to be watching this video, Hi, Gavin. Hey, how about sending your crew out to fix these friggin' highways? Fix these roads into Death Valley. These people are starving, man. We need tourists. Anyway, I'd better get on my way to dinner, but I'll show you one more thing on the way. Oh wow, look, an airplane. There's one way to get around the roadblock. Okay, here's the last thing I want to show you when it comes to talking about these road closures and this water damage. And this is by popular request. Somebody wanted to see the areas I walked around. When my sister and I were walking around during Hurricane Hillary, you might remember we came walking down this highway and it was totally flooded with water the color of white Russians. Delicious white Russians. Well, you can see the road here wasn't damaged, it's just fine. And it's totally dry. Matter of fact, you might remember this whole low section of desert over here was a lake when I made that video. And that was only, 6 weeks ago? Look at it now. Oh my gosh. Look at the cool texture. How it dried out. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, you know how I always say, oh, I wish this was smell-o-vision. I wish this was touch-o-vision. Because these nubbly things, look, they're kind of like wobbly. I thought these would be like hard, but they're like little blobs that are just sitting right on top. Oh my God, as far as the eye can see, what a texture. Oh my God, I just want to lay down on this and roll around, but unfortunately, well, I'm already late for dinner. Thankfully, my dinner is just right up the road, about 1 minute. So hopefully my date will understand that I just had to pull over and look at this marvel of nature. Well, he might not understand if I rolled around in it. Look over here on the other side. So the other side of the highway, which is where there's this big marsh, it's also dry, but you can see where it looks like some dingling tried driving through it. And I don't know if that's a rut from somebody getting stuck or maybe that's just from the water. But it's dry as a bone right here. Dry as a bone. Well, it looks like pretty far out. Golly, who throws White Claw cans out in the desert? And an Evian water bottle. Get a life. I'll just put them in my car with my rapidly warming groceries and dispose of them after I go to dinner. Anyway, I just wanted to make this last stop to show you that everything has dried out. It's just a matter of these roads getting repaired. So don't be afraid to come out to Death Valley. You can still get out to where I live from the Las Vegas side with no problem at all. So if we do have this firehouse fundraiser on October 28th, which they haven't said that's the official date yet. It hasn't been officially released. So, don't mark your calendars or anything. But if you do want to come out here for that, well, you might not be able to come on 127, but you can still come on the old Spanish Trail Highway, or you can still come out from Pahrump. Okay, that's all the news from the edge of Death Valley for now. I'm headed to dinner. I'll see you later.